So we're gonna check out this video. This video is the governor of Maryland. His name is Wes Moore. And he's gonna be another example of what the Democrats do. Because forever they have put people in front of you. And I say, you always have to remain skeptical of these people that they put in front of you. So we're gonna go through this, get this guy on screen, and I'm gonna tell you what the issue is with this guy. He's just the next one up.
Now, the president has long championed the death penalty. For D.C., though, I should note, it is not a simple ask, given capital punishment is not even in the city's legal code, and achieving it would likely face major obstacles here. But this all came as the president also made clear he plans to extend federal control over D.C. with help from Congress after his 30 days to do so is up and will then require their authorization.
Number one, we want to stay there for longer than 30 days. As you know, we have an absolute mandate, and I can extend it, but I'd rather not have to declare a national emergency because by that time, I mean, right now there's not an emergency.
After the president threatened to send in the National Guard to other states and cities, one governor invited him to come to the city that he was calling out, an invitation that the president responded to this way today.
Baltimore, Wes Moore was telling me I want to walk with the president. Well, I said, I want to walk with you too someday, but first you got to clean up your crime because I'm not walking in Baltimore right now. Baltimore is a hellhole.
My lead source tonight is the Democratic governor of Maryland that you just heard the president mention there, Wes Moore. And Governor, thank you for being here tonight. I think just first off, what is your response to the president calling Baltimore, as he put it there, a hellhole?
Well, the president seems to be obsessed with me. Today he called me a beauty, and when I first met him, he just talked about how I was a good-looking guy. And now he just continues to make statements that are just flat out false about our state's largest city.
I don't care who you are. As a man, you can be the president of the United States, even though I support Donald Trump. Where's the facial hair? I'm always suspect about a man that don't have facial hair besides his eyebrows. This guy goes to the 10th degree. No facial hair besides his eyebrows. It's something to it. I'm not saying it's causation or anything else like that, but I'm just always suspect.
The reality is that when I first became the governor, Baltimore in 2022 had about a homicide a day. Now, in the past 2.5 years, Baltimore and the state of Maryland have had amongst the fastest drops in violent crime anywhere in the United States. The last time the homicide rate was this low in Baltimore City, I was not born yet. And we have done it by making historic investments in law enforcement, by making historic investments in predictive technologies, and we've done it by actually working with the mayor, working with the state's attorney, working with community violence intervention groups, and working with the community to be able to ensure that people can feel safer in their neighborhoods. And the thing is that we know we have more work to do, but we're not going to be performative or cynical about the way we are doing it, and not taking the approach that the president of the United States seems to be taking about making people safe in communities.
What are you going to do if he sends in the National Guard to Baltimore, though? I mean, we've seen other governors try to fight it, like in California, Governor Newsom, and, they lost that battle in court.
Well, I'm very clear. I am the commander-in-chief of the Maryland National Guard, not him. And the Constitution authorizes that. And so the Maryland National Guard moves on the authority of the commander-in-chief. And
so we're going to keep in mind, this may have been the first time you even heard about this guy. This guy has presidential aspirations for 2028. So the Democrats are doing whatever they need to do to prop this guy up. There's already a video of this guy just enamored and praising Donald Trump already. it's interesting that they're not going to play that here. Now, if I'm feeling really motivated, if I can find that video, I will place it within this video. But because he can see that he thinks, and they've propped this bald head up to where he think he may have a chance to be the president of the United States. Because if you look at how they do things, and I say they put these people in front of you, right? Normally they put racially ambiguous people in front of you, and then they tell you what you should think that they are. Barack Obama, they told you what race, because that's what the Democrats operate off of. Some type of victim, some whatever. You know, if this black guy can do it, so can you. If Kamala Harris, a black woman, can do it, so can you. Now, visually, we can look at this guy and tell that he's so-called black. But then these are really the early stages. I'm sure we're gonna dig into it. We're gonna find out who this guy really is. But by the fact that he's going on CNN and he's reacting to these type of things, there's a lot at play with this guy right here. In my opinion, he's already sealed his fate, because in a video, he has already demonstrated his reverence for Donald Trump. He told Donald Trump, "You are the greatest president of my lifetime." Which in that case, I do agree. Donald Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime. And my lifetime, in my experience, is much bigger and more vast than his. So we're just gonna see what this guy has to say, but let's go with some of the talking points. Oh, he's articulate. Oh, and he speaks so well. Like, that's a compliment for like a black dude or a black person. Actually, it'll go the opposite for the black woman that's in power, because if she's sassy and doing a child and all that type of shit, she gets respect that way. But if they put a black man up that's not gay, and again, we don't know about this dude, and actually I think he has a wife and family, which is the antithesis of everything that the Democrats preach about. See, I'm going into these directions because there's still things that need to be uncovered about this guy that the Democrats are trying to put in front of you. So let's continue this early, we'll see what's going on.
I will not authorize the Maryland National Guard to be activated for something that is either not mission critical or mission aligned. And I think what the President of the United States is doing, it is not sustainable, it is not scalable, and it's also not constitutional. That it is a direct.
How about them black lips you got, bruh? Just like Barack Obama. I mean, if you know what you know with the black lips, because black folks don't have black lips unless there's some type of alternative synthetic / what they would call a natural substance, And a lot of the stigma has been removed from that substance, but we will agree that that substance is still a mind-altering substance. Look. To me, it just stands out like a sore thumb when you got these black lips. I'm just saying.
Violation of the 10th Amendment, and even if he wants to talk about other things he can do to try to activate, the reality is that he still needs states to be able to invite the federal government to come on board to be able to do that. And the thing that gets me most about this is how deeply disrespectful this is to members of the National Guard who signed up for this job as I did when I deployed overseas and I led paratroopers in combat,
Mm-hmm.
where we signed up
There you
with
go.
the expectation that the commander-in-chief and the people who was declaring our orders was actually taking it seriously. And the problem is we are seeing a lack of seriousness from the President of the United States to a very serious situation. And that's why I invited him to come to Baltimore, to come be educated, to come learn, so he doesn't have to spout nonsense from the Oval Office and things that are just
Go ahead, bro.
blatantly not true about what is actually happening and the work that's happening in coordination to make people feel safer in their neighborhoods.
Does that invitation still stand?
That invitation still stands. I would love for the President of the United States to actually come and learn. I would love to be able to introduce him to our violence interrupters that are on the ground, groups like We Are Us that are on the ground doing the work. I would love for him to come spend time with the
Oh, I like that. You have violence interrupters into one of the most violent cities in our country, which makes no difference whatsoever, because if you have 500 homicides in 1 year and then the next year you have 300 homicides, Democrats view that as progress, but that's really not the case, because I've heard in some cases that where they have report shootings and homicides as accidents just to make it look better. I'm just saying, that's what they've done.
Mayor of Baltimore to go learn about the things we actually need. For example, if the president really wanted to not spend $1 million a day on something that is theatrical, actually spend that time and put those resources and that money into things like license plate readers. Put that money into things like making sure that we can put more cops on the beat, and that we could also make sure we have more community violence
on the beat.
interrupters, and they're getting the supports they need.
You know, you point out that crime is down, rightfully so, in Baltimore, but some people might look at the numbers and say, okay, well, the city still has the 8th highest overall crime rate, third
in the
highest violent
country.
crime rate. And
Look at this.
those are numbers that justify what the president is saying. I want you to listen actually today, because this was a point he kept making repeatedly during this cabinet meeting, which is
Thank you for
basically
bringing that
he's
up.
winning a political game against Democrats, that they're making other Democrats defend crime numbers like what I just said there. Listen to how the president put it today.
The Democrats have lost 2.5 million. Other than that, they're extremely happy. No, they're very depressed. They're very depressed. And their new box that they've fallen into is crime. There was a consultant on.
How about the way to stop the crime? I'm gonna come up with a theory that is going to blow your mind. As a matter of fact, if you're standing up, sit down. The way to, first of all, in cities where people are in close proximity with each other, they're living with each other, pretty much on top of each other, you're not gonna stop crime. So we're gonna get rid of that fallacy. Let's get it down to I don't think there's any number or an acceptable level when you just have people all around each other and things of that nature. But how about this? Here we go. You ready? Arrest the criminals. Prosecute the criminals. Punish the criminals. Make it punitive. After that, then just talk about all this other nonsense that the Democrats are talking about. All these programs and this, that, because we know, especially in the inner city, we know the underlying problem of crime. The underlying problem of crime is lack of fathers in the home. We can't fix that. That shit has been broken in the black community since about the 1940s. So you're not gonna fix it. You're not gonna fix that for at least 100 years. But what you can do today, tomorrow, and the next day, arrest the people that are committing the crimes, punish them, make it punitive. You can start there. And after that is done for a certain period of time, and then you move on to other things. I mean, I knew it just blew your mind. I mean, 90% of the country didn't already think that that was the case. To do that, I don't know who wouldn't think that that would be the solution. Again, it's never a solution, but you understand what I'm saying.
One of the shows this morning I was watching, I thought he was very good. He's a Democrat consultant, and he was screaming, no, don't let him do this to you. It's another trap.
Do you worry that
And they
it's a
cut
trap?
it off.
I worry that he's not taking this seriously. This isn't a game.
Why you
This is not politics. The 8 years under the previous governor in Maryland, we went 8 years in Baltimore with 300 plus homicides every single year unabated. That during that time, during the 8 years of my predecessor, the homicide rate in the state of Maryland nearly doubled, the non-fatal shooting rate did double, and I refused to be a governor who's just going to sit there and offer thoughts and prayers while we allow bloodshed in our neighborhood. So what did we do? We actually got serious. We actually started
you got
working together.
serious.
We started making historic investments in our community groups and in local law enforcement. We started actually making investments to ensure that we could use technologies to stop crime before it happened. And if someone committed a
So why all these Democrats that always talk about making investments? Just give us money. We'll funnel the money to where we need it to go to. Meanwhile, crime will tell you that crime is going down. Because guess who's in control of reporting the crime data? We are. So we're in control of reporting the crime data. We're going to tell you that the crime is going down, especially when you got a president that's going to be tough on crime and send the military in to crack down on crime that you're not taking care of, that Trump has demonstrated in DC that'll take 11 days to clean up. But just keep making investments. Keep making investments the same way Democrats make investments in these failing inner city schools where most black boys they can't read proficiently at above a 4th grade level. They can graduate high school but can't read past the 4th grade level proficiently. And what proficient means is that just basic understanding. Just basic understanding. Proficient, it sounds like, because it has 3 syllables, it sounds like a fancy word, but proficiency, it just means you just have a basic understanding, right? And so you have someone that graduates, we're talking about 12th grade, but can't read past a 4th grade level. But you know what we need to do? We just need to continue to make investments into that system. And that's what Democrats want you to do. There's other reason for that regarding the teachers union, but I'm trying to get through this video because there's more to be unveiled about this guy.
Violent crime, particularly with a firearm, I want him in handcuffs in 24 hours. We started taking this seriously. And that's the problem that I'm seeing here, is that we are actually working together to take this issue seriously. And right now, from the President of the United States, with his jeering cackles around him, that the only thing we are hearing is them laughing about the fact that this is a political ploy. It is real to people who have lived in communities for so long that have been neglected and that have been ignored. And I can tell you right now, when they are watching the fact that this is just becoming a political game, to those who are sitting in positions who could actually do something about it, that is the thing that will have consequences in the ballot box later on.
You mentioned what the president has.
Why, like, anytime any of these Democrats talk is just like, he's saying Donald Trump is not being serious. he's not being serious. Because I think he's giving a list of talking points. And he is actually spinning the talking points a little bit different. He's not saying as many of the buzzwords, but he's just pretty much saying the same shit that most of the Democrats are saying. He's pretty much just saying, fight Trump, fight Trump, fight Trump. He's just saying it in a different way. And then the interviewer on CNN, she phrased the questions in such a way to where that's all he's saying is fight Trump, fight Trump, fight Trump, in just a different way with different words.
Has said about you, talking about how you look. You actually interacted with him last year at the Army-Navy game. He's claiming that you called him the greatest president of your lifetime. And there's actually audio of the conversation that the two of you had that Fox News aired. Obviously, you were there for this conversation, but I want everyone else to have a chance to listen to this.
President, welcome back to Maryland.
Here's
sir.
the interaction.
Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you.
In person, too.
Reverence.
Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. And great to have you back here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we were very, very anxious to be able to work closely with you, and I know the Key Bridge is something that we're specifically focused on. It's going well. I mean, we spoke with Speaker Johnson yesterday, and Speaker Johnson says he believes that we're close to the 100% cost share. And
look at
and
this.
The thing is, I told him when we get that 100% cost share done, we are going to be able to go over the Key Bridge and the watch, because I will have it done in 28, on time and on budget.
We'll help you out.
Thank you, sir.
See?
Did you interact with him at any other point in that conversation? Did you ever tell him he was the greatest president in your life?
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Look at his face. Now, what we saw in that little previous clip is what he really thinks. What we see in this face is, I gotta fix that. Because if the Democrat donors that want me to run for president in 2028, they're scrambling to try to fix this, because if not, his presidential run could be dead already. Look at that face. As a man, I know what that means. Look, if a black man could blush very nervously, his cheeks would be red as hell. Anybody ever, what was it? Raggedy Ann? Y'all can Google that. Raggedy Ann had the rosy cheeks. That's what's going on right here with this guy. That's what's going on. Let's see what he got to say. This should be interesting.
Time.
I know this is breaking news to everybody, but the president is not telling the truth. What happened right there was when I first met the president, and then after he started talking about how I'm a good-looking guy, I started talking about the importance of the Key Bridge and how this state put on.
Body language is a lot. He started off by saying, I. That's all I need to hear. But let's continue.
On a case study on how to recover in times of crisis, that we were able to bring closure to all 6 families, to the individuals who were lost that night on the Key Bridge. And when they told us it was going to take 11 months to clear the federal channel, that this state got it done in 11 weeks. And we started talking about how it was going to get done. And then he later on invited me to come sit with him at the game. And I told him, I said, I'm good. I have my own seats. And I went to go sit with the cadets and the midshipmen. So no, I never called him the greatest. And I just find it absolutely comical that that was the way he remembered that conversation.
Governor Westmore, thank you for your time tonight.
So yeah, I can't wait to point out the hypocrisy with this clown. Even, I don't know how far he's going to make it as far as trying to be the Democratic presidential nominee for 2028. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to follow this guy. Like the video, you can dislike the video, you can comment on the video, you can share the video. You can also go over to YouTube. We got some other things going on over there. Emerson Info 5000. Peace.